You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, team. Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com. And streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Bachelor Pad After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Bachelor Pad After Show.
Yo, tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
I'm not singing, I'm a guy, I'm sorry. I'll dance with y'all.
You can't sing Spice Girls?
I want it really, 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 really.
Sing,
What's up, guys?
Oh,
Wow, we were really amped up.
it's supposed to be if you want to be my lover.
Yeah,
That's
gotta get with my friends.
Gotta get with my friends. That's the story we're telling tonight. On
How
Bachelor Pad.
apropos. What is up, AfterBuzz TV Nation? We all know that Bing is for doing, and we are doing another after show on AfterBuzz TV. This is the Bachelor Pad.
What's up?
Yes, Season 3, Episode 4. I'm JC, and I'll let my wonderful host. I always screw up the intro.
It's because me. It's always
You just
for
get
me.
so excited.
Maybe you just either get angry or excited at Canden, and then that's how you introduce
Do you
me.
want to know the real reason why? It's because you guys are literally the prettiest cast we have at AfterBuzz TV.
Aw.
Absolutely.
All the other casts are gonna hate you.
I don't care. Send the hate mail because literally these girls have faces for radio.
He's on our alliance.
You know what?
Whoa.
You would be a really good contestant on Bachelor Pad.
He would be.
Exactly.
Schmoozer, Switzerland. That's what we call
Manipulate
JC.
He's
and
already been there.
All right, the lovely lady to my right, please introduce yourself.
Canden Bliss back here with you guys. Bachelor
And
Pad 3.
across the table, our grumpy side. What's up?
What?
Only half the table is grumpy, and I'll take it. I'm Krisily, grumpy for the night. Thanks.
I'm Cathy and I'm not grumpy. Ever.
Hi.
If you guys are watching us on AfterBuzzTV.com, chat roll, guys, hello. If not, please make sure to watch us, listen to us on iTunes, and make sure to subscribe and comment. Let us know what you think, because we are super interactive. We answer all your questions. Actually, Krisily, did you know that people want to win a date with you? Literally, that's the feedback from the fans on iTunes.
Ooh.
Yeah, see? You didn't notice that. See? Oh,
Not grumpy anymore. And I'm not on chat roll tonight. Sorry, guys. Forgot my iPad.
do you want to use my phone? Actually, we'll throw it over here.
Yeah, no, I don't know if that'll be-
yeah, all right.
I don't
All
know how
right.
to use
She
not
doesn't want to
Apple
touch
products.
JC's phone. No, not sure where those hands have been.
Wow, we're 3 minutes in and you guys have already buried me 6 feet under. Good Lord, thanks. All right. And if you're not listening to us on iTunes, you can also watch us on YouTube because literally these ladies need to be seen. Okay? I'm just saying. Okay. All right, guys, so overall impressions. What'd you guys think of tonight's episode? Krisily?
I thought it was good. There was some boring parts for me, but I thought it was good. There was, of course, the manipulation, the drama, the tears. So, it's what to be expected from Bachelor Pad.
Okay. And Canden. Come on, Canden, bring it in.
First half was a little like what was going on. I think they could have done a little bit better job at bringing the drama in the first half. I mean, that's what the show's all about. Now, I'm not saying I love it necessarily, but that's what it's all about. And then the second half of the show was exactly what I was expecting from Bachelor Pad. So lived up to the name in the second half of
The reasons why
episode.
half the fans watch.
Exactly.
Half for love
100%.
and half for, what is it? Fit hits the shan?
Fit hits the shan.
There we
That
go.
is going to be our topic later on in the show, when the fit hits the shan.
And now our positive AfterBuzzer. Cathy, what'd you think?
I was actually going to say the same thing as Canden. I think that the beginning was a lot less dramatic than I thought it was going to be, and the end was just as dramatic as I thought.
Okay, so then we'll tease that for a little bit later.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about all the craziness, all the moves, all the power plays, and all the backstabbing. But first,
Well,
let's...
the reason that it wasn't quite as dramatic was this game show right at the beginning.
Yeah,
and
that's the opportunity for so much drama.
Totally.
And I feel like either people weren't that honest in their, surveys, questionnaires that they had to fill out, or the producers were just really bad at picking the things that would spark the most drama.
Yeah, because
No.
let's talk to someone who's actually played the game. You've actually played this game.
Yeah, we played this game on season 1. It tore apart the house before we even got to the answers. They literally brought it to us before we went to bed, and we weren't allowed to go to sleep until we finished answering the questions. So it was interesting. I mean, those of us who had been honest from the get-go really had no issue with the game. Those of us that had a little bit more of a hard time, I mean, there were tears filling out the questionnaires on my season. So I feel like if they had watched past seasons, they would have known that this was going to come up. I also think that, I mean, you have to pick somebody. You can't leave the questions blank because they go through them and they come back and they give it back to you if you answer them blank. So you have to pick somebody. So going into that, you know that somebody's going to pick you. You're going to be somebody's answer and you're going to piss someone off. I mean, it's the name of the game.
Yeah, I mean, do we even really need to talk about the guys?
No, and some of
portion
the
game?
questions, I mean, for all the questions that I know we had to answer, the sex questions for me made the contestants look really trashy. And I was kind of upset that they used those. I mean, I would have rather have seen who said what about who, not who had sex where. Like, I thought that was unneeded.
And they really only did it for the girls.
Yeah, they really pointed out the trashiness of the girls, not the trashiness of the
Yeah.
guys. And the guys have some trashy stuff hidden in their closets too. So
But Cathy, while we were watching it, she even mentioned, but women are just so much more catty about things.
Well, in the answering questions about other people, but in the answering, like, how many partners have you had? That's just unnecessary for the producers to bring up when they did that, I think, with Blakely.
well, and it wasn't like Blakely was in some serious relationship where her partner was going to get jealous that she slept with 9 other men. Like,
Well, 9, 11, 12, maybe.
Hold on. No, but you guys aren't seeing it through. Think about it. There's a reason why they asked. Maybe if Blakely stays on, they could use that as ammunition against her, like in a later fight. Well, you slept, you never know.
Yeah.
I called you a slut because, I don't know.
They could throw it in her face to try to, because, Blakely is a little up and down. Slightly.
a little.
Slightly, yes.
More like roller coaster.
Right, so something like that little nugget, someone could put it away, like let's say Rachel or something, just for example, and just save it for the right time. Maybe some drinking's involved, and then boom. It's all positioning.
But she even said that she lied on it. So I feel like a lot of the other questions, contestants lied because they knew this was going to happen.
Of course she's going to say she lied. Why would she?
Yeah, but who cares?
Exactly, yeah.
It's no one's personal business how many people anybody slept with or where the craziest place you've had sex is. And I think that of all the questions they could have asked, those aren't the ones that should have been shown. It should have been the ones that were going to tear apart the game, not who had sex with who. Because tearing apart the game is saying your best friend called you the biggest liar in the house. That's the things that are going to split the house apart, that are going to split the teams apart, that are going to split the whole
Alliance.
energy.
They
So,
tried it.
yeah.
There was 2 questions.
But
2.
I remember
I just think it was silly.
from your season, though, there was the question, and I think the guys answered this about the girls, who's once or many times a bridesmaid, always a bride, and Natalie gets, yeah. And I think that she was so furious with that answer, like she started crying or something like that, and that's the kind of drama I was expecting from, this challenge.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I was looking for was the questions, who has the worst boob job? You know what I mean? Who's the biggest bitch in the house? I mean, those were the things that we had to answer. And those are the things that split apart people in the house quickly. They were the ones that got to you emotionally. And that's what this game is supposed to be about, is emotionally breaking people down to see that only the strong survive.
So Jamie not calling Jaclyn fake, that wasn't bad enough?
No, did it not? Nothing. Nobody said anything else about it the rest of the episode. It was like we thought it was going to maybe be a spark, but it wasn't. It had nothing to do with the rest of the episode.
And if you remember that episode on our season, this was a huge part. Like every single girl was in an interview crying about what somebody said. Like every single girl was questioning their partner and questioning their friendships, and it broke apart the house. And that's what this game is supposed to do. So you know that this is going to happen going into it. There were many times where we would kind of laugh at the fact that we would have to talk about each other. So you go in knowing that. So I feel like it could have been so much better, and they went with the sex thing because they want the sex pot, and I just think that's annoying.
Okay, so it kind of backfired, you're saying?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because nothing really came out of it. I mean, who ended up winning? It was
Ed and
Jaclyn.
Jaclyn. I really like the one line. Erica would make a bad parent because she eats her hair. I just thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
But other than that,
it was
the rest
cute.
of the
It
questions,
was
yeah.
cute. I know.
And then
so-
Ed said he was awesome.
Yeah.
Ed said that he had,
Ed is
he
awesome.
had
And everyone
accomplished
thought that
the
would be
most.
Kaylin, but
And
it was
Ed can get away with it, man.
Yeah.
Seriously. And actually, I want to tease something. I forgot to bring it up. We were actually stick around because we have an interview. Actually, one of our very own at AfterBuzz, Adrian Vero, interviewed Ari on the red carpet for an event for the Herald. Who was it for, Marissa, again? For the
Harold Pump Foundation.
Yes, and she got some great tidbits on him on whether or not he's going to do Bachelor. So stick around for that. But before we go any further, I do also want to bring up Amazon. And we actually, now, did you have a little story? Perhaps I'm going to put you under.
No, I was just browsing Amazon the other day to try to find an iPad case because I need one so I can be on chat roll and talk to everyone here. But I am going to purchase one soon, and I'm definitely going to go to AfterBuzzTV.com first to make that purchase through Amazon.
Yeah, because the great thing about it is if you click on, there's a little icon on the left side of our homepage, and it'll take you straight to Amazon. You can make all your purchases, your iPad case, Canden and her bangles, and Krisily, I don't know.
And it doesn't
a
cost you
vacuum.
anything
Dyson.
else. Doesn't cost you anything extra.
Yeah.
And go
then
ahead.
we can bring all this free content to you, which is great. Helps us help you.
Yeah, it kicks us back a few cents. There
Helps
we go.
you help us.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Keeps the
that
lights
too.
on. All right, so let's. Oh, thank you.
Team effort.
There we go. Let's move on to the date. I want to move on to the first date real quickly of Ed and Jaclyn.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of the kiss? Ooh.
I do not like this couple. I'm sorry. I do not like it.
Why?
I don't think they are a couple at all. I think that Jackie's a little bit more into Ed than Ed is into her. But I also wonder if they're just playing it up for the cameras and for the show. I don't necessarily think that they're a couple at all.
I think that she wants to be a couple, and I wish that Jenna Couture was here because the relationship expert aspect of our after show would have been great, because just analyzing their body language, and it seemed like Jaclyn was looking at Ed, wanting a kiss several times throughout that date, and he was just staring at the fireworks or laughing at the ground or something, and I don't know, I didn't really feel like he was that into it.
No.
Well, we did mention it last week that Rachel and Jaclyn are kind of BFFs, and
Well-
they flew from New York to Chicago to party with Ed and Chris Bukowski,
Yes.
actually for her birthday. So they
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so they still have something kind of like a friendship.
Friendship.
Okay, we're calling it friendship. It is what it is.
Not friendship on fire.
I think a lot of the relationships that blossom on Pad are on Pad, and that's it. I mean, the only relationship that really came out of our season was Tinley and Kipton. Sorry, guys. They're two in the same kind of, so it's fine. But a lot of times it's great for the story, and it's great for the cameras, and it's great for getting you the next round, and so you do what you have to do.
And okay, so the date, cool, Dodger Stadium, awkward kisses.
Really cool date, though.
Yeah, see, you guys were all gushing
Kiss
about it.
cam, fireworks, Dodger Stadium. That's amazing.
What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say the whole baseball thing, like that was kind of the perfect scenario. It wasn't like a romantic date where they had to be super awkward the whole time. Like they could have fun and run around and throw the ball and like they could do something as friendly-ish and not be all awkwardness. Like if they had like some romantic dinner and like couples massage or something, that would have been really weird.
However, Jaclyn did say that it was a very romantic date.
But
And it was her first Bachelor
I think
date
that's
ever.
because she's a little delusional.
Yes, the Jamie delusional department. Okay, now
Baseball in general is not always that romantic, especially like 9 innings of baseball. I don't think is super.
I think a date at a baseball park is super romantic. I think it depends on the person.
Yeah.
It totally depends on
It
the
depends
person
on the
and what
couple.
you like.
Yeah.
And Ed makes it fun. Ed makes
fun.
anything fun. Honestly, that's like the perfect. Yeah, Jaclyn's happy. Everyone's happy. But
And fireworks make anything romantic. Like any kiss, no matter how awkward it may or may not be, there's fireworks happening while you're kissing someone. I mean, that's what we all talk about and dream about. So if it actually happens, kind of romantic.
Marissa, can you like bring fireworks for next week for us so we can have it like
You're
in
not
the
kissing
city?
anyone, so
I'm not-
you're fine.
Ouch.
Ouch.
I was really hoping.
Who are you kissing? cheating.
Poor JC.
I know, I get no love. Okay, but we're talking about
Yeah.
Bachelor here. I want to bring up something, the most important part of the date, actually, where they threw a little wrench in their plans,
Yeah.
where they took away Ed's rose.
That was kind of crazy.
Do we think that he would have chosen Jaclyn to go on a date had
No.
he gotten one?
No.
Who do you think he
don't
would have picked?
I think it would have been Jaclyn or Sarah. Or they would have, him and Jaclyn would have decided together to strategically choose another girl to save.
Which they ended up kind of doing anyway,
Right.
but just for
Yeah.
Chris. So, yeah, you could see they're trying. Are they trying to maybe reinvent the game a little bit? You know, they're tweaking it just because they really want to pick up that viewership, perhaps. Just
I think they're tweaking it, and I also think that Jaclyn didn't want to take anybody else on the date, so they had to make something else happen because it wouldn't have been, you know what I mean? Who's she going to give the rose to? Where they could have just had them on the date, have the rose, and then say, okay, decide who you're going to give it to the next day, and let Ed go on another date. But it made it more interesting to have somebody else come in.
Would have been too much airtime for Ed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I think it just spices it up a little bit. It adds a little bit more to the equation. Everybody's now on their toes a little bit more, which they try to do each season. They change something up a little bit, so
I think
makes it more exciting.
a lot of people would have tuned out too if it was two Jaclyn and Ed dates.
Yeah, that would have
Yeah,
been just horrible.
Yeah, no. But we actually got a great date. I thought it was a lot of stuff happened in that date. There were some, you could see the tone change and reminiscent of Dave Good season 1.
On Ed's day or on the second date?
No,
oh, well, yeah.
we're moving on to the second.
Before, during, and after, and lots of interesting things happened.
Okay, so what you guys think of that? The Chris and Sarah
Well,
date.
first of all, Jamie and Chris sort of hooked
Okay.
up-ish again, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
But they didn't actually hook up because Chris is playing the toss the line and kind of reel her in slowly and then toss her back out. kind of
Someone kisses,
game.
someone turns the cheek.
Yeah.
I think he wants to hook up with her when he's drunk, and when he's sober, he kind of shies away from Jamie. And I don't know.
Okay.
Like, he's trying to play strategically, but he's also kind of just wants to hook up, and then I don't know.
He's battling with both brains, right? So
Blakely said he's battling with both heads, but
I think he's totally playing the game. I don't think that it's an alcohol issue. I think that he knows that these two girls are they can be manipulated.
Yeah.
Jamie, while Blakely's a little bit more of a loose cannon because you can't control her as much, Jamie you can manipulate to pretty much do whatever you tell her to if you tell her she's liked. And that's a good person to keep around if you want to win because you know that she'll always do what you say. The great thing about the date tonight was it was the first time that I saw Chris be genuine with a girl.
Yeah.
There was no BS. There was no... Sorry, he wasn't trying to get anything from her. He wasn't trying to do anything. He was just
he might have been
genuinely...
trying to get something.
Well, yeah, not in the game, I should say. But he was just being genuine with her, and he was having a good time, and he was not thinking strategy for the first time, and it was refreshing to see that. I like both of them.
do you think, did the producers know going in that they were going to have Chris and Sarah on the date, so they planned this kind of like action date? Because what I thought immediately was putting them in that type of situation is going to create...
Having problems, sorry.
Krisley's learning how to use the mic for the first time tonight.
Been a rough 2 days.
Okay. No, but they put them in these these intense situations, these action sequences that, nose to nose
Adrenaline.
contact. Yes. So it just gets that chemistry going.
that would have worked out with
Anyone.
Chris and anyone, or whoever the two people were that were on the date. Obviously, they're going to bring someone that they're romantically interested in since it's a one-on-one date. And having them that close to each other is going to initiate some sort of...
So you're
Reaching.
not. So Kathy, what you're saying, it's just a Bachelor Pad relationship.
No, I was thinking that the producers set up these dates to initiate some sort of
Of course.
thing between...
Yeah, and they're a lot less romantic than dates on Bachelor or Bachelorette.
Yeah.
So you still get the romance side of it, but these dates are always a lot more fun, and they always have something more fun involved. You know what I mean? Like the movie was great, and them doing that was exciting. And I feel like the whole hotel part of them getting the room, I feel like that happened. Obviously he didn't have a credit card and an ID, by the way. We don't have our credit cards or IDs the whole time we're in that house, so sorry, ABC, you might be mad at me for that, but come on. But I think that probably really happened. They didn't know where the date was going to go, and it ended up going really well, and they decided, you know what, it'll create way more drama if we don't bring these two home tonight. Let's do it.
You know, there was a quote that actually Chris said. I wrote it down. It's the best thing I've done is traded in Blakely/Jamie for Sarah. It's like buying a new car. New cars smell, and it's so much smoother and a nicer for me. Classy. Wow.
I just want to play, like, I don't know if it's devil's advocate, but everyone gives Chris so much, like...
Slack.
Yes, slack for hooking up with 3 girls on the show. And I was reading Michael Stagliano's blog a couple weeks ago. I think it was the episode 2 recap when he went on his date with 3 different girls. And he mentioned that he made out with all 3 in the same night. So why is he the good guy and Chris is the bad guy? They've both hooked up with 3, or like made out with maybe more with 3 girls. Mike did it in one night, and Chris has done it over 3 or 4 weeks.
Right, and it's happened every season. On my season, there was someone as well who had hooked up with more than one guy in the house. I think it was 4 by the end of the season. So how, you know what I mean? You can't call one without the other. I feel like people don't know Chris, and because he's playing the game so well, but also so openly to us, he doesn't play it openly with the rest of the castmates, but he plays it very openly with us. So in his interviews, he's very vocal on what he's doing. So I think because of that, people are just, they have a bad taste in their mouth, and they're saying he's a bad guy. He's not a bad guy. I mean, he's a nice guy. Emily Maynard was tweeting about him as well. You know what I mean? He's a good guy. He is playing the game.
She said tonight that he's a great guy. She doesn't want to see people talking smack about him on Twitter.
Right.
So is it fair for, like, because I know a lot of people are mad at Chris's gameplay, but don't they see it is a game? It
They
really,
don't.
Because I know you were you getting worked up a little bit, Canden?
Yeah,
okay.
I think it's about intention, and I think Chris's intentions are more devious than Michael. I think Michael is fun. He's kind of honest with whoever he's with about what's going on. Like, he's not going to make out with Lindsay, Donna, and Rachel and then continue that relationship with all 3 of them for weeks at a time. He chose one and he stuck with it. Like, and I think it was more of a that was just a fun night. Chris is just like gross. Like, I just think he's gross. I mean, I'm not saying I think he's a bad guy. I think he is playing the game, but I think the way that he's doing it is just really disrespectful and gross.
I think you may have a crush on Chris.
No.
I think so.
I
So
do
much
not.
hatred.
No.
Because you haven't liked him since Bachelorette.
I don't even think he's cute.
He's been honest with all of them. He's told Blakely that he couldn't promise her any.
No.
Well, no. He's definitely lied on occasion, but he also has told no. I mean, come on. He's lied and he's strung people along, but at the same time, he's told every single one of them that he couldn't promise them things.
I think that there were times when he's been honest, but then especially with Jamie, she wouldn't accept what he was telling her.
Delusional.
Like, he would say, I don't want to be your partner, or I don't find you that attractive, or whatever it was, and she'd be like, no, I don't accept that. No. And then he would lie to her after that because she clearly was on the crazy train.
Yeah, I think it's a little bizarre that Blakely and Jamie have allowed themselves to. I mean, Blakely doesn't think that she's allowed herself to be strung along, but she totally has. She has no more self-control in that aspect with Chris than Jamie does.
Yeah.
With being able to handle the situation with him. None at all. Because she should have turned her back on him weeks ago and said, this is wrong. You're lying to me. This is totally screwed up. But she said, promise me you're going to be my partner. And he's like, no. Like,
because
Chris
it's just sick.
Chris just used their weaknesses against them. Basically, Blakely's volatility and
I was going to
Jamie's...
say, Blakely's so competitive, and I think that's why she stuck with him until this week. She was trying to win over Jamie, and we've seen that in Ben's season. She just wants to win. And then now that Sarah was thrown into that mix, she sees that Chris isn't going to be loyal.
And this is the first week that Chris has shown her that he was not loyal to their alliance as a team. Take the feelings out of it. Take the hooking up out of it. This is the first time that he broke the alliance.
Okay.
So this is the time where she's going to hopefully see the difference, where Jamie was just delusional.
Well said. Now, I'm going to bring up a point while we were watching the show. It's the same thing.
Game show.
Yeah, there we go. You had mentioned that when you go into the confessionals and you guys say something, when you'd come out, you basically, if you said something about someone, you would actually go tell the person, or
Yeah. I mean, maybe all of us didn't do that as much, but there was a couple of us that literally, like, we'd go in our interviews, and when I'd come out, if I, especially at the thing, it's like Natalie was really upset with being called always a bridesmaid, never a bride. But the fact of the matter is that she couldn't settle down to save her life. And she was just doing what she needed to do and dating who she wanted to date and living her life a certain way. So if you're going to live your life a certain way, then you can't really get mad at people when they call you out on it. And I would say that, but I would come out and tell Natalie that I said that. Because for me, when people watch back the show, especially people that I'd become friends with in the house, I didn't want them to see something and be like, I can't believe she did that to me. So I was always, and it's exactly what got me sent home. I was too honest. You know what I mean? Like, I wear my heart on my sleeve, also my hate on my sleeve. You know what I mean? If I don't like you, you know. And so we were very good at coming out and telling each other, hey, listen, I just talked a little bit of smack about you because you did this to me today. And we would get over it in the house together, so that way when it aired, we weren't all hating each other, which I want to say is exactly what they must have done as well, because there's a lot of Twitter love between Blakely and Jaclyn now. And so I feel like it's probably a very similar situation.
Okay. So with that said, so you think Chris has got the right partner with Sarah?
She seems like she's going to cause a lot less drama.
Yeah.
And that's what he wants.
Perhaps him partnering with her will cause him... No, maybe not. I was going to say maybe he won't cause as much drama with her, because he won't be having this fire underneath him every day to do something different. I think it may settle him down a little bit, but because of what he just did to Blakely this week, he's got a target on his back. So that's where the drama's going to come from. I don't know that he'll be creating it, but he'll be the receiver of it.
I think he's stuck on Sarah. Like, he wants to be partners with her. And like Krisily said, this is the first time where he's really been sincere with a girl, when it was him and Sarah on that date.
So you're starting to see the couples formulate now with Jaclyn and Ed and Sarah and Chris, yes. And we were going to talk about that. You said you wanted to bring up a little bit about the couples, like the shiftings and things like that. What did you notice, Cathy?
Well, I was just feeling like there has been a lot of shift in who people are partnered up with, and it seems like now they're kind of solidified. Like, we have, Chris and Sarah, which, this is the first time where they're partnered up, but I feel like this might last, several weeks, maybe till the end. And same thing with, Kaylin and Lindsay. They didn't really change partners that much, but I feel like they're in it till the end. I feel like Jaclyn and Ed are going to be partnered up until the end, and same with Stag and Rachel.
Yeah, so we've got 4 couples now. Out of how many people are left now? 12? I believe?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've got those 4 remaining. So who are they going to pair up with?
Yeah.
Break them apart.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot believe, Tinley was tweeting about it tonight. A lot of people past casts, like, I cannot believe that these people have not learned by now. Like, I love Stag. Send him home.
He should have been
He
the guy
already
sent home.
won. What are you waiting for? You're giving your money away. Like, I don't understand.
They're
Like,
letting him run the show. He's the strategizer in the house.
they just, I can't wait to see, because at the end, they're all going to be at that Bachelor Pad reunion getting ready to vote, and they're all going to be looking at each other and going, well, we really gave this money to them, because it's like every season, it's break them apart, like get them away from one another. When they have that alliance and they get that strong and they're in numbers, start picking them off one by one.
So Blakely, Tony, Nick, and give me the other one. Those are the ones that need to break up the couples, is what you're saying.
But even within, like, how is Ed and Kaylin, and I mean, Kaylin's all on his own. But why would you not
Kaylin and Lindsay, they should have split those up. That was a prime opportunity for them to do that this week.
But they're in
neither
a
of
couple.
them had a rose.
Like, I wonder, because they're in a couple.
That's what I'm saying.
Makes it feel like they don't want to get off the other couples, because they're like, oh, we're all couples. Like, it's kind of like maybe they're losing sight of what the game really is and what the strategy should be.
But no, what they think is that they have the numbers. So, and it's the same thing that happens every season. Tinley said it tonight. She said, in our season, if you were a couple, it meant you had a target on your back the entire season. Now what they do is they couple up from the beginning. The couples all go together in a pact and get rid of everyone else, and then start picking off one another.
Yeah.
All right, so I told you guys are gonna have to. I am confused because the whole what is it? The fit hits the shan.
Yep, fit hits the shan.
Okay, let's hit that real quick because we still got to talk about the Ari interview and our gossip. You got some and maybe some news if we got time. So let's bring up the. Say it again.
Fit hits the shan. I don't know why I have to keep saying it. But
Can we
okay.
not say that word?
What's that?
We can't say that word?
No, ABC is a family network, and so is AfterBuzz, Krisily.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. Okay, so let's talk about the strategy. Everyone thought that we all thought Blakely was going home.
Yeah.
Because Chris wanted Blakely to go home.
Chris is very smart with his gameplay, and I think his mistake tonight was voicing it to some of the other guys, and Ed even brought that up. Chris said that he was going to keep Jamie around he wanted to keep Jamie around because he could manipulate her and he could get her to vote off some other guy in the future weeks. He said that he was going to keep Sarah around because they were going to partner up and he was romantically interested in her. And then he was going to keep, who was the third one? He wanted, I forget the third one, but the reason why he wanted to vote off Blakely is because she was a ticking time bomb. And if he had those, it was Sarah's best friend is Erica Rose. So he had that third vote. And then he would have 3 girls voting against someone else automatically. So he'd have the numbers on his side. And the guys are, I think the reason why they chose to vote off Jamie instead of Blakely is because they don't want Chris to run the house.
To amass too much
Well,
power.
because now the guys have the power to vote Chris off because they'll have Blakely behind them to get him out.
Sure.
That's going to be fun to watch, I think.
This is going to be crazy.
See what Blakely does.
Blakely's going to go nutso. She's going to flip out.
I don't see Chris going home next week
No.
at all.
They're gonna try.
I understand their method and their thought process, and now Blakely is going to suffocate him with a pillow in his sleep, possibly. But now she won't have Jamie's help. So.
Yeah, I honestly think I think, to shock y'all, I know it's a prediction, but I think Stag is the one that's going to be in trouble next week.
Really?
I mean,
I could see that.
It's the people we don't see this week. Like this week, we didn't see Erica Rose. We didn't see Stag. Who else didn't we see? Those are the people that I think next week.
Well,
We
Lindsay?
never see Nick Peterson. I think he might be going home
yeah,
too.
but at least he talks. Has Lindsay said anything
No.
the
Yeah,
entire season?
She had one ITM tonight.
She did?
Yes. At
About
the beginning
Kayla.
of the show.
She never talks. Like,
She just sits there and is like, on Caitlin's
that's all
shoulder.
they do is okay.
And kudos to Nick, because he actually finally made a move that wasn't down Donna's throat. You know, he actually did something. He was actually campaigning for once. You actually got to see Nick try to make some moves. So
Yeah.
all these people are going to come back in the second half of the series. These people we don't, we focused on Stag, on Ed in the beginning, and now like we.
Tony Piper.
Yeah,
Where
there
has
we go,
Tony been? Like, I forgot he was even there.
He's in the Alliance, guys.
I know. I was
He's
like,
there.
how did he get in the Alliance? I
Because
don't
he's
understand.
easily manipulated. He's a new person. He wants to fit in. He doesn't really know anybody in the house. He's in with the cool kids, so he will do whatever they tell him. He's manipulative, so they
Floater.
keep him around. Right. They keep him around until they don't need him anymore, and then he gets replaced.
Doesn't he miss his son?
He actually did an interview, I think it was 2 weeks ago, or it would have been after the ribbon twirling competition. And he said that he realized that his son didn't miss him as much as that he thought he would.
Yeah.
And he missed his son more than his son missed him. So that is why he went back, because he thought that it would be an amazing opportunity to better his son's life with this $250,000.
Very sweet.
Okay, we'll give you that. But now, would it behoove these people, like let's say Tony or Nick, like Nick, get into a relationship? Because since they are kind of floaters, so would it help, like if Nick got involved with, let's say, Jamie, or if,
It's too late now.
Oh yeah,
gone.
yeah. Sorry, Jamie's gone.
Too late.
But
I don't
if-
think Nick is going to get up with Blakely.
I feel like at this point, if you haven't made a solid God, what is my problem tonight? If you haven't made a solid bond with someone in the house at this point, you're kind of screwed.
Well,
Yeah, sitting duck or something. Okay.
I think so.
What were you gonna say,
Blakely's on the
Kat?
prowl. She
Yeah,
needs
but-
a new partner.
But I don't think she's going to find that romantic partner that's going to be with her the whole way through. Like, I just
Who's
don't
left?
see it.
Nick and Tony.
Yeah, like, don't see it at all.
We'll see. Time will tell. But let's.
And
before-
Erica Rose, I mean, who's going to...
Yeah. What, Erica? Come on. She doesn't frown. She doesn't
Does she
smile.
even have a partner? Like, No.
No, I know.
At least she was making moves last season in Bachelor Pad 2.
Right.
At least she was like making out with Blake and whoever else.
She's
to try
another
to...
one though that's like, why is she still there? Like they're just gonna keep her till the end.
It's because she, I feel like, has solid relationships with some of the older alum.
She's helpful with voting. That's about it.
So she is important. She is important
Yeah,
to
she's helpful. She's helpful to get numbers and to get people to vote certain ways.
And I feel like she's very manipulative in that she can, fake cry her way into getting someone to vote someone else off as opposed to her. We saw that a couple weeks ago.
So a lot of stuff went down. Were you guys surprised on the eliminations? Blakely, Jamie.
I kind of thought Blakely was gonna go home. I really did.
I think we all kind. I felt that way.
I really
Yeah.
thought
I
she
thought it
was.
was Blakely.
I really thought
Until
she was.
Kaylin said, yeah, I'm voting off Blakely. That's the second one it clicked. No, he's not.
Kaylin went all over the map tonight.
I just don't understand why anyone hasn't sent him home yet either. Like he hasn't been truthful to any of his alliances. He hasn't listened to what anyone else has to say, and he's kind of gone rogue. So why would you keep him around? Because he's not helping the situation at all.
But do they know that it's him? I don't think that they know 100% yet that it's him. I think this week they're going to figure it out. And I think in the next coming weeks, it may get a little bit different, but I still don't think that they really know it's him that's not being truthful. I think they're going to pick on Ed and they're going to pick on Chris before they take out
Well,
him.
we also know next week, I believe it is, he's on a date with
Lindsay.
With Lindsay.
So
So
one of them
either
win.
one of them wins or, they're both safe, get the rose.
So he sounds like he'll be alive for next week then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
I see. Well, let's move on. Okay, we're going to start with the good before we get into whether or not Ryan Lochte should
Lochte.
Yes, of course you guys know his last name. Should be on Bachelor Pad. Marissa, do you have that awesome interview with our very own Adrian Vero?
So, do you follow the Bachelor Pad at all?
I do. It is my guilty pleasure. The Bachelor Pad is like the spring break of Bachelor. It's pretty phenomenal, and I do like it. It's great to see, especially to see Chris on there because we became friends on Bachelorette, and it's just great to see those guys and see what the heck's going on in that house.
Could you actually see yourself in that scenario, that crazy life, that crazy house?
No, I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could handle that. I think the Bachelorette was emotionally taxing enough, and that seems like a pretty wild ride, so I don't know if I could do it.
Well, we hope you
I miss
Very
him.
cool.
Of course. Yeah, see. Now, would you apply if he's the Bachelor, Cathy?
Duh.
Okay. There we have we have you on audio and video now saying
Yeah.
that. So if he's picked, there we go.
I know who you can talk to.
Oh, yeah.
See, we make things
She may
happen.
know a guy.
I may know a person or two.
So Krisily, since you could help Cathy, could you possibly help Ryan? Ryan Lochte.
I wouldn't help Ryan if he asked me to.
No?
I'm sorry.
You don't think he-
Listen, I was obsessed with the Olympics. The girl who said she would never watch it
She was.
obsessed.
It was on every day.
It's all I watched. It's all
Every
I've
day.
breathed. It's all I've tweeted about. I'm sorry, Twitter followers. But I do not want to see Ryan Lochte as the Bachelor at all. We constantly complain about people doing the show for the wrong reasons. We constantly complain about people doing it for fame. Hello?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he wants to move to Hollywood. He wants to get on television. He wants to do this. The stupid grills that are in his mouth, I can't. Like, no. We all know I'm Team Sean for Bachelor.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
it's happening. But I don't even know. I hope ABC wouldn't even think about Ryan Lochte.
hell to the no.
That's right.
That's
Tell
right.
him, Marissa.
Yeah. For those of the people who are watching who don't know what's going on, Ryan said that he wanted to do some sort of
Sorry.
after that whole rant from Krisily, Ryan said that he wanted to do some sort of acting or reality show, and he said that he'd be interested in doing Dancing with the Stars or The Bachelor. So
Yeah, Bachelor Pad. But now, didn't they
he never
respond?
said
Oh,
he
didn't?
never said that he wanted to do Bachelor Pad. I believe it was Robert Mills, who's one of the executives at ABC, said that he would never consider Ryan Lochte as the next Bachelor, but he would be a good contestant on Bachelor Pad, maybe because of the peeing in the pool comment.
Right.
He might pee in the hot tub as well.
Oh my
I
god.
love you, Millsy.
So you could be a super fan for next
Or on
season.
the Bachelorette, if they have another Bachelorette, maybe.
He
Nah,
wouldn't
no,
do
he
that.
wouldn't do
No,
No, he wants to
unless
be
it's
a
a
star.
to win.
surefire. Yeah,
Yeah, he wants
he
to
wants
be
most
the-
airtime.
Yeah, so Sorry, Ryan. There you go. These girls know, so I'm going with the girls. So I think you might as well stick to the dance floor.
Yeah.
All right. So with that said, let's move on to some real quick news and gossip.
Yeah.
Do we have anything?
Well, that was the big piece of news. Ryan Lochte.
We ruined it.
Talking about the Olympics and the Bachelor, a different kind of game. But another piece of news is Jen Sheft, one of the original Bachelorettes, had another child last week, a daughter, and her name, I think, is Charlotte Grace. So welcome to Bachelor Nation.
Congratulations,
Poor
Jen.
child.
No, I think that Jen seems like she's in a very loving relationship.
No, I like Jen.
So, yeah.
I like Jen. I think she's great.
Yeah.
I'm excited for her.
So that was quickie news and gossip. So we're zipping on through, guys, this week. So let's move on to predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz.
We've been
TV.
making predictions kind of off and on through this whole show, but what are we going to actually predict at this moment?
All right, who's going home next week? It's a tough one.
It's a tough one. It's so crazy because, like, I think a lot of what happened in this week's voting ceremony is going to blow up in next week. I just do. I think a lot of things are going to happen that we don't know. We think Chris is going to be on the chopping block, but I think it's going to be Chris or Ed that is going to be on the attack this week. I'm not sure because we know Kaylin's safe, and Kaylin voted against that alliance this week. So I don't know. And Blakely's going to be crazy. So I can't even do it.
Too early.
It's too
okay.
early.
All right.
Even
Kathy,
know.
what do you? Give me someone. Give me a name.
I'm going to say that either Nick Peterson or Michael Stagliano goes home for the guys. And I'm going to say that girls, Erica Rose. She's gone next week.
Yeah.
Man, if Erica and Stag went off next week, that'd be interesting.
Krisily, all right, you've been there. You've been in the rabbit hole. You've
Look,
been
she's
down in the
thinking.
trenches.
She's thinking really hard.
Don't think like AfterBuzz. Just think like a bachelorette.
Which I can't because I'm not made that way. Because I would have sent home Stag and Erica Rose weeks ago, and I mean not for any personal reasons, just because hello, they've already been there. You already had your chance.
Okay, so you get two predictions.
But I think Stag will be on the chopping block for sure this week. I don't necessarily think that he'll get sent home yet. I think they'll keep him around because his alliance is pretty strong. I'd like to see Kaylin go home.
Okay, Kaylin. So you're just saying Kaylin and for the girls?
For the girls, I can't even remember who's not attached to anybody other than Blakely. I feel like Blakely's the only person
Erica.
that's really not attached. So it's going to be either Blakely or Erica, and I would go with Erica.
I would say to keep Erica around just because I feel like when it comes down to the final two couples, I don't see a lot of the people choosing Erica. So I'd like to have her
I think the
as
guys are going to keep Blakely.
Yeah.
I think they are. I don't think that they want to send her home other than Chris. I think none of the guys really, really, really wanted to send her home.
Well, they would send Erica home over Blakely because Blakely's a better contender when it comes to the games.
And they're not going to be able to send Chris home if Blakely's not around.
Right, that's true.
I think there's going to be a shocker next week. Yes.
What? Like?
The shocker is that Chris is actually not going to sleep with anyone next week. All right. No,
that was not a prediction.
That's a prediction,
That
girl,
is a
because he's hooked
prediction.
up with half the house. Even Chris Harrison, I think they've even had a little rendezvous.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Horrible.
I'm going to say, okay. No,
Exclusive.
the actual shocker is Stag and Blakely are going home. Because I think Stag, they're finally going to realize that they got to get him out. They have to get him out.
Oh, and then that would make sense for why Rachel's crying and saying, I really thought I was starting to fall in love with Michael because he's not there anymore and she still is.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Bingo. Yeah, so Blakely and I think I'm with you guys. Blakely or
Erica.
Erica. Yeah. Gosh, Blakely's fun to look at though. All right. Okay.
Not tonight, she wasn't.
All right. So okay, I'm sticking to my
Anyway.
picks. All right. Time's up, guys. So Kathy, where can they find you?
They can find me on my Twitter at Catherine Kelley.
You can find me at Krisily, and I am going to apologize ahead of time for all the Shark Week tweets.
Candy, what about yourself?
You guys can tweet me at Canden Bliss, and I have gotten so much better. I now have over 300 tweets or something, and so I'm like, yeah, woohoo.
Nice.
A tweeter.
I'm a tweeter.
Good. You can play with all their tweeters. I'm JC, and you can find me at The Everyday Man. You can find all of us at AfterBuzz TV. If you're still watching, make sure to stick around for The Glass House. If not, we'll see you next week. Bye everybody.
Bye.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.